people will just be able to see us. And I don't. Oh, does your mom, Taylor? I don't know. Do you have access to? Does she have access to the comments on the Facebook Live?
Think.
Let me go check with your brother.
Okay.
Because if somebody could on the Facebook Live just point people to the YouTube or specialchronicles.com/watch/live to actually say if they want to see both of us, then they can go to the YouTube. As well as reminding people to text in their comments and questions to feedback@specialchronicles.com. And if you are just joining us right now, this is the live video edition of the Special Chronicles show. We're about 47 minutes after we wanted to start because of technical difficulties. But we are live. If you want to download the audio podcast, that will be up within the next couple of weeks. Go to specialchronicles.com/show. That link is in the description right below this, or maybe it's to the, I don't know where that description is, but somewhere below us or above us or to the right or left of us, somewhere you see that description, you see that link, specialchronicles.com/show, and click on that link and you get all the listen and subscription information for this program. And so this is the live behind the scenes look. And if you are following us on the Instagram at Special Chronicles, Ella, who is our guest today, is taking over our Instagram today. The first guest that we have who is doing that. And so I should actually wait. Oh, it stays. I'm going to move that so people can see the show. So here we go. And any thoughts before we get started, Ella?
I think I just want to say good morning to everybody. I'm excited to do the show and share my story a little bit more.
Awesome. And okay, so let's get this show going. And I think on the Instagram story, I accidentally clicked that I wasn't joining live. That on that little poll that you did.
Yeah.
But I by mistake.
I have to.
What? Well, yeah, I kind of have to.
Because you're the person who runs it all.
Yeah. Okay, so let's click. We're gonna go ahead and click play, and I'm gonna. Actually, I think if I mute your mic, then you might not be able to hear. So I'm gonna just keep all these settings the way I have it.
Yeah, everything sounds really good.
Awesome. Okay, so here we go.
This is Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
You're listening to the Special Chronicles show, episode 322. This week on Special Chronicles, our guest is Ella, a fellow IAmAble ambassador for the Able Finder charity in Australia, is here to talk about cystic fibrosis or Craziness for Life, IAmAble, and much more right now.
I shudder thinking how the world can be so cruel. I lend my voice to those who can't. It's time we tried, it's time we cared, it's time we stand. It starts with a voice.
Podcasting since 2008. This is the show where we're broadcasting disability stories from an insider's perspective, and we are giving a voice to people with special needs. This is your weekly guide to finding joy, acceptance, and inclusion. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, and welcome back to the Special Chronicles program. My name is Daniel. I am your host and founder of Special Chronicles. So good to be back behind the mic, and so excited for our program today. On this, we are taping this live on I feel pretty old by saying tape in but we're taping this on Saturday, December 8th, 2018, but you will hear this the week of Christmas. And our guest on the program today is, well, you probably could figure out by the T-shirt we're wearing, and shortly, you will see. Well, if you listen to the audio podcast, then you're probably wondering, what
The
T-shirt?
shirt we're wearing.
Yeah, what shirt are they wearing? But we'll describe that in a moment. So our guest is Ella, who is just like myself. We are both global IAmAble ambassadors for Able Finder, a charity in Australia. And Ella she is here on the program to talk about cystic fibrosis, her crazy zest for life, as her mom says, the IAmAble campaign, and much more. Welcome to Special Chronicles, Ella.
Hi, Mela. Thank you for inviting me onto your show today.
And yeah, so we first got connected through Able Finder as a both, I believe, I want to say one of 100. Well, I mean, okay, I should say
Yeah.
we are two of 100
Ambas-
ambassadors. Yes. So for those, and so that's how I came across your story on Instagram, looking at the hashtag IAmAble. So if you guys anytime doing the program, you guys can just go look for this hashtag. But I would like to just remind our listeners and viewers, if you anytime that, well, if you listen to the audio, you can still text in, and then I will get any of those texts to after the fact. But if you are tuning in live right now, text in your feedback to feedback@specialchronicles.com. Ella did a great video on that you can find on our Instagram stories on. Oh no, it's somewhere on the Instagram, I think.
It's on my post. I did.
Okay. Yeah. So and we shared it on our story, and so you guys can go to our story and then go to whole post and watch the video to see how to text in. But it's simple. Until that address, feedback@specialchronicles.com, and any questions that you have for our, we will be happy to answer that in the program today. But for any new listeners, and I want to just briefly, we'll do this at the end, but I want to just briefly thank our sponsors, the Jenny and PJ Fortnell Foundation, Goldman Sachs, which is a financial institution, and the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program, which is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. And all of you generous listeners who are, you can donate today at specialchronicles.com/give. specialchronicles.com/give. So with that out of the way, why don't you introduce yourself to our listeners and tell us about yourself and your family? And this sign is really blocking my notes, so I can't see this. I need to prop this up here better. But yourself, your family, and what disability you were diagnosed with.
Okay, so I am Ella. I'm 12 years old. I have a niece, 2 older brothers, and I live with my mom and dad, one of my brothers, and my 2 cats and my 1 dog. I am in 7th grade. I like running, writing, and gymnastics, and I was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis.
So awesome. So what take us back to the basics of, because you're the first guest having on it with cystic fibrosis, and just briefly last night when your mom had sent me a couple of links that we'll get to near the end of the program.
Yeah.
I looked up just a little bit about what it is, but kind of tell us in your firsthand perspective, what is cystic fibrosis? Fibrosis, because I think it's something to do with your lungs. And
Yeah.
when I was born 3 1/3 months premature, I had a lot of lung issues and those big tanks that you had to help you breathe, and so I don't know if that has a similar to what you go through, but tell us a little bit about what it is.
So cystic fibrosis is a genetic disorder that it's a progressive genetic disease that clogs all my organs besides my brain and my heart with a thick, sticky mucus. So it affects my lungs, my pancreas, my sinuses. Those are like the main three that it really affects. It affects my reproductive system, so anything like my kidneys, no kidneys, anything that can produce mucus, that's what it affects besides my brain and my heart, so that's nice. But I have to take pancreatic enzymes to help me digest my food. And so it is a disease that clogs my airways and traps bacteria, which leads to infections, extensive lung damage, and eventually respiratory failure. But if I stay healthy and stuff, I can prevent a lot of that from happening.
Awesome. And what does cystic fibrosis mean to you and your daily life? If our listeners are following us or following at Special Chronicles our Instagram story today, they can and we'll put it up in the highlighted Instagram stories later under our behind the scenes highlighted story. But if people want to go and get a look before going on the air this morning, you posted a behind the scenes picture with a mask. So tell us a little bit about what does cystic fibrosis mean to you and your daily life.
So I was told at a really young age that CF didn't define who I am, but that it was a weakness that I had that I can make stronger. So every day I don't really let cystic fibrosis define my life, but I more like take it on as a blessing to inspire other people. So that's how it sort of affects my daily life. But other than my vest treatment, which is so the mask that I had on, so that helps me breathe with my sinus. So my sinuses get really plugged up, so that helps me breathe. And then I take my vest therapy, which is a vest that like shakes so that my lungs can get cleared up from the mucus. That helps me to cough. And then I also have to take, like I said, my pancreatic enzymes to help me digest my food, and I have to take a few vitamins and supplements in the morning before I like continue on with my day. So I have to do my BDs, which is my vest therapy, twice a day. So I don't really like doing my vest therapy because it takes up 30 minutes or to an hour of my day each day. So it doesn't seem like too long, but at the same time, I just don't like sitting there that long because I'm sort of like a hyper person. So to just sit there, it's like sort of boring. So I usually read or write or do homework while I'm sitting there.
Awesome. Well, our guest today on the Special Chronicles program is Ella. Just like myself, one of 2 of 100 global IAmAble ambassadors for Able Finder, a charity from Australia. And we'll get to a little bit more about their IAmAble campaign in just a few moments. But based on what you said about how your CF doesn't define you, you somewhere I read, it was either on one of your posts or maybe on one of those links that you guys had sent me, but somewhere it said how they're trying to find a cure for cystic fibrosis. And a big thing that I do when I go out and speak and advocate, I'm sure a lot of other people do, is they say that you shouldn't really find a cure for whatever disability or difference that you were diagnosed with. Yeah. So is that, maybe talk to us a little bit about your thoughts on, should they find a cure for CF / other disabilities, or should people just recognize it as being a part of who you are or a part of who we are?
I think for some people, I think it's necessary for them in their daily life to find a cure because maybe they aren't doing too well and they don't feel very well. So to get a cure would be really helpful. But for me personally, I don't think I need a cure because I can trust that God has already healed me. So I don't really need to have a cure if I'm perfectly healthy and doing fine every day. It's just a part of who I am in my daily life, and I've gotten used to it. So like even if I did have a cure, for me personally for cystic fibrosis, I'd still have to be on a lot of medication so that my body didn't reject the cure. So I think just living the way I am right now is like okay with me. I don't think I need a cure, but for others who maybe aren't doing too well, I think that a cure would be necessary.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I want to remind the listeners if you have any, or to say, well, I want to remind our viewers, right? Our viewers, if you have any questions, you can text in your questions right now to feedback@specialchronicles.com, feedback@specialchronicles.com, and we can answer any of those questions or even comments. If you have comments for you can comment as well by texting in.
I would be happy to answer your questions or comments.
Yes, and we do have some people joining our Facebook live stream, and so
Hi.
I'm pointing them to because they can only see me. They should be able to see both of us, but if they want to see you, Ella, as well, pointing people over to our YouTube live that they can watch both of us on there. And so you mentioned how your cystic fibrosis doesn't define you. Can you maybe comment on some of the joys and challenges that of living with cystic fibrosis? And
So one of my biggest challenges, and I don't really share it with a lot of people, but I don't ever like really share with a lot of people about my disease if I've just met them or something. So like I don't want them to see me in a different way, but like so in a specific thing, taking my enzymes, which are my digestive pills, in front of like my friends at school, or like if I haven't really known them for a long time, if it's just sort of a superficial relationship and I'm still getting to know them, it's sort of like hard for me to be really obvious about it. So I don't want people to be like, well, what are those for? And like just asking a ton of questions because it's hard for me to always explain. But I think I need to work more on sharing that so that I can empower people to go donate or to see that it is a big deal to have a disease or a disability to help with those scenarios and stuff, to help people feel more comfortable with just being them.
Awesome. Well, speaking of, and one
of the joys.
Joyce,
So one of the joys that I have is I have opportunities to share my story and inspire others to maybe share theirs, or just to go out and be kind to others with disabilities. Because like whatever disability you have, you shouldn't be like looked upon different. So I like to share my story to inspire and encourage others to overcome their struggle or their feeling of being different. So I hope that by sharing my story of like cystic fibrosis and being open about it, that I can encourage others to go out there and share their story to be encouraging and uplifting to other people, to be the best them that they can always be.
Awesome. Well, that's definitely what we agree with at Special Chronicles and support as well. You mentioned your friends and kind of not exactly knowing how to like tell your friends, and I think by maybe there'll be more resources, whether it's at Special Chronicles or Able Finder, or these different resources that kind of maybe can give people like yourself and other young people tips on like short little questions, short little tips on how to start that conversation with people, and that might be able to help. But speaking of school and friends, which school today, I'm sure for you, is a lot different than when I was in 7th grade.
I'm homeschooled. I go to a class. I go to a co-op once a week on Wednesdays. So that's when I see my friends and stuff. So I go to, it's called West. So I go to a co-op, and I go to 5 classes there. So I do digging deeper into the Bible. So it's like a Bible study class. And then I do science, writing, and Spanish and math. So those are my classes that I take.
So,
For me, it's a little bit different than a normal public schooler, but the reason that we haven't put me in public school is to keep me healthy and away from the germs, a lot of the germs, and because I'm in sports and stuff, it's easier for me to be homeschooled.
yeah. So on that, speaking of your friends, how do your friends react to your cystic fibrosis and?
I honestly have been blessed with some really great friends, so a lot of them are pretty like accepting about it. Like my really good friends are really accepting about it. They just think of it as just part of me, and it's just it's not my disease, it's just me. It's just their norm. So that when I'm around them, they really don't make a big deal out of it. A lot of my friends, I have my best friend, she actually reminds me if I forget my enzymes or I'm eating too much sugar. She's like, calm down on the sugar, remember to take your pills. And and then I think, so I was out, so like you said with the sharing resources and stuff, I was out for a baseball game with my friend, my best friend, and then one of her friends also came. So we were saying something about my pills, and then her mom said, oh yeah, she has cystic fibrosis. And the friend turned to me and she goes, oh yeah, I read about that in a book. So that was cool that I didn't really have to explain about it a little bit, but she already sort of knew, so she wasn't like, wait, what is that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, neat. So your mom described you with having a crazy zest for life. Can you maybe comment on what your mom means by that?
Yeah, so my great grandma used to say that CF stood for Christ filled, and I agree. So it actually stands for cystic fibrosis, but she said it
Yeah.
stands for Christ filled. So I think God has put a specific energy in me that I don't just want to be a basic everyday girl. I want to set goals and achieve them. I want to encourage others to achieve their dreams. And just because if you reach for the stars, you can grab a whole ton of ideas and like inspiration to share with other people to better themselves and better who they can be. And I think just my joy is knowing that God has, like I said, already gave me a cure, keeping me healthy. And I think I shouldn't just sit on the couch and like think about that, but I should go share it with other people and run and write and just like share my feelings through my favorite things to do. So like just sharing my disability with other people so that they can be encouraged to share their disability and not be like hiding it, but just my zest for life is just that I know that I can be empowered through my disability instead of like brought down or like discouraged. I don't think of my disability as a weakness. Well, I think of it as a weakness, but a weakness you can make stronger, right? So
Yeah.
that's mostly just my zest for life, is that I have possibility in anything and I can do anything that I set my mind to, and that's just how I get my crazy zest for life, like my mom says.
Awesome. Well, speaking of this crazy zest for life, can you maybe comment on how others with CEF that you may have met, um, uh, on how others and uh, oh, similar and differ. I mean, how you with your CEF similar or differ than other people, and how this crazy zest for life is either unique or similar to you. Because as we know, a lot of disabilities, whether it's like loading disabilities with me, and how there's all these different levels of degree and these all different levels of types
Yeah.
of disabilities, that it's not like no one person has the same, even within that same label. So
Yeah. So actually, a lot of the other stories I've heard of people who have cystic fibrosis aren't doing very well. A lot of them are in the hospital getting sick, or constantly going in for surgeries or something. I've heard a lot of stories about people going in for surgeries. I think a lot of people, not a lot, but a few of the people I've heard of, like a few different CF events I go to, I talk to some parents who's actually had their children, their adult children or their smaller children pass on because of cystic fibrosis. They've gotten really sick and gotten other things related, and it didn't really go very well. A few people that we know in the CF community, a few close friends in the CF community are doing really great. They're striving like me, like how I try be a better person every day, try find natural supplements to sort of help with my disease rather than just having to be in the hospital. Like I know for like the cure, I said a lot of people they aren't doing very well, and I think a cure would be necessary. But I think CF just differs a lot for different people. We mostly have the same struggles. It's just how we take our struggles and either change them or, if you're sick, I suppose, like, you just got to try to keep yourself healthy to the best ability that you can.
Awesome. Well, on that note, we're going to go ahead and take a quick, I'm trying to find the button here. You think I would have done this before? We're going to go ahead and just take a quick break. Our guest today is Ella, a global IAmAble ambassador with AbleFinder.
Yep.
And we'll be back talking about AbleFinder and the IAmAble campaign and some more about CF as well. Right after this short break, right here on the Special Chronicles show on specialchronicles.com. So don't go away because we'll be right back after the short PSA.
We are not just athletes. We are ambassadors of uprising, peaceful protesters
in a rebellion against anyone who has a fear of difference.
Our demands are equality,
dignity, and the recognition of our shared humanity.
We will not stop or accept anything less.
We are deserving when we compete.
We are fighting for a more inclusive world.
We are champions on the field and for this cause.
Today, our world is more divided than ever.
And coming together has never been more urgent.
The revolution is inclusion.
The revolution is inclusion.
The revolution is inclusion.
And it's not optional. The only choice you need to make
is how you will join it.
Is how you will join it.
Is how you will join it.
Revolution is inclusion!
You are the stars, and the world is watching you. By your presence, you send a message to every village, every city, every nation. A message of hope, a message of victory. The days of separation and segregation are over.
Join us and sign the Inclusion Pledge today at jointherevolution.org. That's jointherevolution.org. And once again, Special Chronicles is sponsored by the Jenny and PJ Footnote Foundation and Goldman Sachs, which is a financial institution. And Special Chronicles is proud to partner with the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program. The Energy Force is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. You can learn more at specialchronicles.com/ComEd. ComEd is really powering lives, at least here in the Chicago area, and it's really helping us to actually keep the lights on. I know that's kind of what ComEd is, but yeah, it's true. And also thanks to all of you generous supporters who are donating at specialchronicles.com/give. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you for donating. specialchronicles.com/give. It's because of you that we're able to bring stories like Ella, so you can hear firsthand that you may not hear in other places. but you can hear that firsthand, as Special Chronicles is your weekly guide to finding joy, acceptance, and inclusion. And yeah.
You're listening to the Special Chronicles podcast. And here's your host.
Welcome back. This is the Special Chronicles show right here, broadcasting live on specialchronicles.com. Daniel, I'm your host and founder of Special Chronicles, and our guest is Ella, a global, just like myself, we are 2 of 100 global IAmAble ambassadors for AbleFinder, a charity based in Australia. And this is the Special Chronicles program. Make sure that you are following us on the social media, on the Instagram at Special Chronicles, and make sure to text in your comments and questions to we haven't had anybody text in, so some of you listening, watching us right now should go grab your phone. You know how easy it is. Go grab your phone, unless you're watching on your phone, so I don't know how you would do that, but somehow go grab your friend's phone, grab any phone that you can,
send in some comments for us.
yes, text into feedback@specialchronicles.com, feedback@specialchronicles.com. Just text us in some comments and questions, and we will get to that by the end of the program. And before I misplace my notes here, we mentioned AbleFinder, and people can, if they're watching our live video, they can see not just on my t-shirt, but Ella, if you say something, then the screen will flip to you.
So it's IAmAble, it's hashtag IAmAble.
Yes, hashtag IAmAble. Go onto the Instagram and just search for that hashtag, right? Just search for that hashtag.
Yep,
and
it'll pop up all of the ambassadors.
Yep, and maybe if your mom is still there, she can post on our at Special Chronicles Instagram story with that hashtag IAmAble, and then people will know to go check out all the awesome faces. And just like you, you got this little handwritten from Summer, the co-founder of AbleFinder, a handwritten note, and on the front of it was all the awesome faces. Well, some of all the awesome faces, right?
Yeah, I don't think all of them are on there, but
yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, because 100, that would be a little difficult to get 100 faces on there.
Yeah.
But
be a bigger sheet.
Yeah. She'll need a little bigger of a postcard. But it's still awesome, the faces that are on there. And so, speaking of that, listeners can go back and hear the conversation with Summer from earlier this year. But we mind any new listeners. I'm sure we have some new listeners out there who are wondering, hashtag IAmAble, or on the back, we probably could like tone back, and so our viewers can see. Yeah, it says AbleFinder on the back of our t-shirts. My mic just fell. I was hoping that was not going to happen. So as I fix my mic, Ella, maybe you can describe for our listeners and viewers on what is AbleFinder and how you and your family heard about this charity based in Australia.
So AbleFinder is a nonprofit organization that is helping to empower those with disabilities to, even though a disability is really hard and it's a big struggle for a lot of people, especially those who live with a disability every single day. It's a big struggle. So I think AbleFinder is really helping with the empowerment for those people, for all of us, to help us to, because disability doesn't mean inability. So that's their mission statement, and I think that's really important for those, to empower them and to make them feel more like their disability. That can be their superpower. That can be what makes them different and unique and special in an amazing way. And we heard about AbleFinder. I was contacted by the founder of AbleFinders. She saw my Instagram, and she contacted us, and that is how we found out about AbleFinders.
Oh, yeah, awesome. Yeah. Just like how someone found out about you on Instagram, that's how we also connected, right? On the Instagram.
Yep.
And I still try to fix my, I don't know what this, it never happened before. So ever since I moved into the studio, I guess the mic just doesn't want to stay on the desk. So I apologize for all that mic background noise. So as I still try to fix this mic, maybe Ella, you can go ahead and tell us a little bit more about your thoughts about AbleFinder. I think they've got like this Facebook chat box thing people can chat, and tell us a little bit more about AbleFinder.
I really like AbleFinder. I think their stories that they share are really amazing. I like how they teach people, I think, more about the disability that their friends or their peers may have. So if you go on their Instagram, they have the pictures of each of their ambassadors, and underneath there's a story about them. So they can sort of share their story and just bring more awareness to their disease. So I think AbleFinders is a really good organization to look into, to donate to just bring more awareness to the disease or the disability that you may have. And I think they're really encouraging and empowering, and I really like their organization.
Awesome. Well, maybe also you can comment a little bit on some of those stories and what you think about the hashtag IAmAble campaign.
I think that it's a really good campaign because I love being part of it, and I understand that having a disease or a disability can be physically and mentally draining, but I hope that all of their encouragement to those with disabilities and their sharing their stories help it to be an easier, giving like them tools to go through their everyday life. So like a social area where you can just share your struggle and your difference and make it be like an empowerment. So I think their mission statement and their global campaign is a really just an amazing thing that they've started.
Awesome. Yeah. And that kind of ties in with something that you said near the beginning of the program, that you talked about not having like some tips or kind of guided questions, like a toolbox of stuff that you could share with your friends. Do you think that this IAmAble hashtag IAmAble campaign and they've got this digital these videos, it's like a slideshow where with all the stories, and they've got guided questions, and then like you said, they've got the questions on their Instagram, and I think on IAmAblecampaign.com as well, with all the stories as well, and pictures. Do you think that will kind of help with educating your friends?
Definitely. I think having like a social network where you can share just you helps other people to see what you are. And I think for people it's helpful because with a lot of friends, it seems like maybe they think you're different, but it might just be they don't know how to react to your disability. They don't want to hurt your feelings by maybe saying something wrong. So in a different way, they just sort of shut down and don't talk about it. But I think letting them know, I'm really open about my disability, and I can tell you more about it, and just to educate you. And here's a few resources. You can go to IAmAble, and they can look at all the disabilities that people have shared, showing different examples of how to sort of let your disability blossom into a flower that can encourage other people.
Awesome. I've never had this much difficulty with this mic stand.
Maybe it's the Special Chronicles sign. Is that weighing it down at all?
That might weigh it down. Let's take it down. I think people already know where they are. turn it into. So as I now try to fix this again, and comment on the but once again, our guest today is Ella, a global IAmAble ambassador with AbleFinder, a charity based in Australia. Maybe comment briefly a little bit on how your family, what they think of AbleFinder and this hashtag IAmAble campaign. Both your mom and your dad and your brother and even your cats as well.
Well, my cats love it. Okay. So I think my mom and dad really enjoy it because it gives me a place where I can share my story and be welcomed for my disability. I think it's really cool how their whole mission statement and their whole thing is just about children and adults with disabilities. Like they're sharing your story because of your unique part of you, and I think that's absolutely amazing. My mom and dad really love the website and their organization. I think my brothers think it's a really cool opportunity that I have to be sharing my story with others because they've lived with me my whole life and they see how much of a struggle CF can be, and I think they're happy that I get a place to just express myself and like tell people in an encouraging and positive way without having to worry about being offended or hurting. I think a lot of places, if you talk about your disability, some people could think maybe you're different, but I think everyone should think of you as the same as them, and I think that's what Able Finders is trying to do. I really like that.
Awesome. And with that, the mic is fixed.
Perfect.
So can we just say how awesome that is? And can you do you have any words that you want to say if someone from AbleFinder is listening or watching to the program right now? What do you want to say to someone about this hashtag IAmAble? I think hopefully by the end of the program, people will be by seeing it on our t-shirts and
Memorize it.
they memorize it. And you told me when we were testing everything out last night before going on the air this morning, because this is my first time wearing this t-shirt.
Yeah.
You had told me how comfy these t-shirts are.
Really.
And can I just also agree that these t-shirts are comfy? So if I know we got them because we are ambassadors.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if other people can get them too. Maybe.
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 They have a website, maybe.
Yeah, I think on IAmAblecampaign.com. I think that's what it is. And so, but do you have any words that you want to say to someone if he's listening or watching our program right now? Maybe how comfy these t-shirts are, or any other comments?
Thank you so much for the letter and for the opportunity to be one of your ambassadors. I love the fact that we can empower people to take their superpower and just fly with it. And I love these shirts. They're so comfy. They have such good material. They're so thick. They're so comfy. I think it's a great way for us to rep the Able Finders company and the hashtag IAmAble so that they can get more followers and more awareness to our disabilities.
Awesome. And have you, I'm obviously as well going to wear this outside of the studio, besides people watching us on the digital airwaves. And if you listen to the audio program, well, then go hop on over to the Facebook Live or the YouTube Live and see these T-shirts. But we'll also the picture of you. We'll put that on the little podcast image thing so people can see that. But do you have you worn this shirt when you're either out running or just out in the community? And if so, have people commented and asked you what's AbleFinder? Because they probably see on your back, but then do they ask you, so what is this hashtag IAmAble?
So I wore it. So the day that I got it, I wore it to my run so that I could like so people could see, because a lot of people I see them with a half marathon shirt or
Yeah.
marathon. I wanted to rep Able Finders, so I wore this shirt. I didn't get any comments, but I posted my picture on Instagram and I tagged Able Finders so that more people could know what it is, because a lot of people I think just think it's you're just saying I am able to do anything. So I like wearing it so that more people can know about the organization, and like bringing awareness to it so that more people can see what IAmAble really is.
And it seems like that. Do you think that this IAmAble campaign is much more than just saying I'm able to do something, but like those a much bigger impact. There's a much bigger movement.
Yeah, I think just the 3 words I am able is so empowering, because anything you tell yourself you can definitely do. If you tell yourself I can't do anything, you're more likely to not do anything. If you tell yourself I am able to do anything I set my mind to, you can accomplish like literally anything. Like anything that you put your mind to, I am able is referring to everything, not just a sport or an activity, but like literally everything that you can do.
Awesome. Well, can you comment a little bit more on this hashtag IAmAble campaign, and what do you enjoy about your story and the photograph that you and your mom sent in on this IAmAblecampaign.com? What comment on from your perspective? What do you enjoy about this campaign, and by having your story and your photograph being used in this way, in as a part of all these whole, we should show this picture again, as a part of all these stories.
Yeah. One of my biggest things for my photo being shared in my story is sometimes with having a disability, you might just get down on yourself and be like you might just think, hey, I don't want this disability. It's sort of like my weakness and it makes me like feel weak or something. But sharing my story, I think, helps my story be my strong part. Like my story is what's like encouraging others to share their story. And I think being an outreach to other people, like not just staying in. I understand that having a disease or I like that they empower and motivate people to keep thriving on their everyday life and make each day more enjoyable and life-giving to those around them. I hope I can encourage people to get out there and share their story, and they can go to IAmAble and maybe share their story and get just their campaign running and out there. My goal of being an ambassador is to have an opportunity to share my story of CF and hopefully inspire others to stand tall, push through all obstacles, and work hard to be the best person that they can be. Without listening to the boundaries or obstacles of a disease or disability. Because I don't think anyone should have a stereotype or like a boundary. They should just be able to push through all those, because everyone's different. We shouldn't have a stereotype for one thing, because everyone, like I said, CF has so many different like reactions that I don't think there can be a stereotype. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
awesome.
Have a stereotype because everyone's different.
Yeah. Everyone's different, and something that my dad talks about is that everyone has their strengths and their weaknesses, and I think if more people kind of see that and read these stories like yours and like mine and tons of other stories on this IAmAblecampaign.com website. Have we mentioned that before? IAmAblecampaign.com. So folks, after you are listening or watching us right now, go over there and check out the stories on there. And I believe I saw on the website that Able Finder might be having some conference or something. I saw that might be something that they're planning in the future. But if if they were planning a conference like in Australia, and like let's say for example they invited us to speak there, what would you, if someone is listening or watching this program right now, what would you tell her of why why they should have a Able Finder conference, and B, why should they have their ambassadors like yourself and myself speak at their first conference, and if they have it in Australia?
So I think that they definitely should, because it's getting the awareness out to a lot of people, and I think it's just like a step up in like announcing who they are, that they have a conference and everything. I definitely think the ambassadors should speak, because for those there who maybe don't have a disability, if they don't have any friends or family members with a disability, they can see what it's like to live with a disability and our stories and how we share them. And I think it'll just more of like an encouragement. So if Summer spoke, I think it'd be really cool, because she's the Able Finder founder, and for them to see her mission plan and what she plans to do with this organization, I think that would be amazing. And then for the Able Finder ambassadors to come after her and just share their stories, then they get sort of what it is.
Yeah.
And they get that, you know, we don't have really like a stereotype around it. Like, we can be anything and we can do anything with our disability. Our disability, like I've said, is like a strong part. It's not our weakness at all.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit more about being an IAmAble ambassador. How you mentioned a little bit about how you found out about Able Finder, but how did you first learn about this ambassadorship?
My mom mostly did. Like, Summer was like emailing her and stuff for us to find out a little bit more about it, just seeing what Able Finders was. So we learned that it's just an organization to help those with disabilities. It's pretty much straightforward what it is, to help them empower themselves and to love themselves for who they are. And I think that's really important. So that's how we found out about Able Finders. She just contacted us, and we kept emailing back and forth, finding out more, followed their Instagram, shared my story, saw all the other people's stories, and that helped to see really what it was. So that was really helpful. That's how we found out and learned more about it.
Did you guys talk to her on like Skype or Google Hangouts?
No, it was just emails.
Okay. Neat.
Emailing and Instagram.
So why did you want to become an IAmAble ambassador? Because I think I saw also on your Instagram bio that that you're also an ambassador for this Justice ambassador, and and tell us a little bit about why you wanted to be an IAmAble ambassador.
I really love empowering teens like my age group. So I can do that with both my ambassadorships. I can empower people to be them, be their age, act just fun, just have fun in life. Don't let your stereotypes change who you are, but just be yourself. Like, have fun, do whatever you want to do. Like, as far as just like breaking down the wall of your disability and taking it with you and bringing it on your journeys and your activities, and that's how you can get that's how you can get noticed for your difference and have it be a strong part rather than a weak part. So my statement as an ambassador is, I refuse to listen to the norm of cystic fibrosis, but instead I go against the grain. I'm a strong, goal-driven runner and gymnast that won't give up at a bump in the road. So that's my statement with everything. Like, you don't just give up at a bump in the road. You go over that bump and you find the gold at the end of the road. Like, you just keep going until you find what you're looking for.
Awesome. Well, that's an awesome personal statement, and I don't think that someone even asked us. Well, I mean, like, all she did was ask us for our stories, but I think that kind of personal mission statement is, yes, you have one for Able Finder, you have one for the IAmAble campaign, but like that personal mission statement, I think will help to, for those listening and watching this program right now, will help to empower them, no matter what disability or difference that they were diagnosed with, or if someone doesn't have a disability or diagnosis, it will, I'm sure it will also empower them to go follow and achieve their dreams as well.
Yeah, I think even if you don't have a disability or an illness, you definitely have a weakness. Everyone has a weakness. But I think seeing people who have disabilities and illnesses or diseases, I think it empowers everybody to just be the greatest person that you personally can be. If you say your weakness is, maybe it's hard for you to run. I'm just using it as an example.
Yeah.
So I'm a runner. So if it's hard for you to run, start off small. Run for 1 minute. And like with anything, if you start slow, you can be anything you want to be. And even if you don't have a disability, you can be a strong, unique person.
Yeah, absolutely. And what impact do you, once again, our guest today on the Special Chronicles program is Ella, a global IAmAble ambassador for AbleFinder, hashtag IAmAble, as you can see on our t-shirts. And what impact do you hope to have both on a global community, on a national community, and even in your local community as an IAmAble ambassador? What impact do you have both for all three, global, national, and local?
My biggest thing is to share with people that you can push through all obstacles if you work hard and be the best person you can be. So I hope to inspire others by sharing my story to anybody, no matter what age you are, no matter what disability, or if you don't have a disability, just push through any obstacle you have. If maybe there's an illness that you have that isn't really like diagnosed, that you don't feel good, then help yourself to feel better. Help empower yourself. Help your disability be your superpower, or your weakness be your superpower, because I think that's possible. You can change anything negative into a positive thing.
Absolutely. And let's move on. We mentioned a lot about in the first half of the program about cystic fibrosis and the AbleFinder and the IAmAble campaign. But what do you hope that others with CF like yourself will have any others find out about this IAmAble campaign and AbleFinder, and if so, what have they thought of this campaign? And
can you repeat that question?
If others who have cystic fibrosis have like yourself if they have found out about AbleFinder and their IAmAble campaign, what were their thoughts about finding out about it?
What were their thoughts about it?
Yeah.
I don't think I know any personally any CFers that have found out about the AbleFinder campaign, but I know for a lot of people it'll be helpful because AbleFinders is amazing. I really love them. They're amazing with so I think it helps a lot of people with disability.
Awesome.
I love their mission statement. It's disability does not mean inability. I think that's really great because it gives you your encouragement. So I love all the organizations, especially AbleFinder, that empower you for anything.
Awesome. Well, on that note, it's about time in the program to get to a segment that we occasionally do when we have something resourceful to mention to all of the listeners and viewers, and that is the popular segment, Picks of the Week. And I usually don't have one until we actually get to this segment, but because I actually told you guys before going on air, I'll let you get to I'll pick of the week, and this is a segment that we occasionally do where we recommend any disability resource. It can be a book, a movie, an app, anything that you recommend to our listeners and viewers that they should go and check out and use. So I'll let you go. Yeah, it can be anything.
For CF, especially just CF, cflf.com and cff.com, cff.org. .org. It's .org, not .com.
Yeah.
And CFLF is they're about the grants, right? Do they just do the grants? Okay, so they do. So I've gotten a grant from them before. So they help with people with disabilities to get grants for sports. With CF to get grants for their sports and stuff. CFF and keeping them healthy because sports, they work your lungs and that's a really healthy thing.
Mm-hmm.
And CFF is cff.org. Cystic Fibrosis Foundation is like just with everything with the CF. And then Hope Kids is they have a lot of events for every disability. So like they let you have fun, and like I went to one of their events recently where we got to see Santa and we got to decorate cookies, and it was just a fun experience for everyone to connect and just to have a fun time. So like making your disability like just having fun and letting loose and just having an exciting, good environment.
Awesome. Well, and any other picks of the week that you want to recommend in addition to CF?
Me personally, I think Make-A-Wish. I really liked Make-A-Wish. I got to go on a Disney cruise, so that was really, really fun. It was a fun time for me and my family, and that's a memory that I'll never forget.
Awesome. Well, we'll put links to all those in the show notes on specialchronicles.com for this episode 322 in the show notes, so people can go and find links to cff.org, cflf.org, and Make-A-Wish. And quickly, my pick of the week will be this website called jointherevolution.org. That's jointherevolution.org. You hold that PSA near the beginning of the program, or about the halfway point, on how the Revolution is inclusion campaign and how people can join the inclusion revolution and choose to include. And so we'll put that link as well, and people can sign the inclusion pledge as well. So we'll put all those picks of the week, and we'll also put links to the IAmAblecampaign.com website, IAmAblecampaign.com, and the Able Finder website. And we'll make sure to put links to the hashtag IAmAble, which hopefully by watching the video, if you are not watching the video, listen to the audio, the little graphic for this podcast, we'll put that hashtag in the bottom of the little picture thing, so people can go and check that out. But if you're not watching the video, if you listen to us on the radio in your car, or just listen to us on your phone just through the audio, go over to the YouTube or the Facebook Live and watch us, and you can see once again on my shirt hashtag IAmAble, and then if you say something over, people can.
Here's my shirt. It says hashtag IAmAble too.
And then on the back of our shirts it says
Able Finders.
Yep. And then we'll pan back to me, and people can see Able Finder on the back. And so awesome shirts, comfy shirts. And I think it's somewhere it says on IAmAblecampaign.com where people can actually get a shirt. So maybe other people can get one too.
Yeah.
But
they're really comfy.
Yeah. We'll add about the hour mark. Our guest has been a global IAmAble ambassador for Able Finder. Any social media plugs on where people can follow your story online, Instagram, Facebook story on the IAmAble campaign website?
For Instagram, you can go to ellaray.ru.nn.er, and it's ELL no space, and then RAE dot ru.nn.er, and that's where I share a lot of my running and my training because I'm training for a half marathon, which I'm really excited for. And then on my my mom's Facebook, you can see my running and my a lot more about my CF, I think, and just family life. So that's Tara Madison, and that's all my plugs.
Awesome. We'll put links to, and that's your mom's Instagram. Okay. We'll put
Yep.
links to all.
No, it's my Instagram and my mom's Facebook.
Oh, and your mom's Facebook. Okay.
Yep.
So much social media to keep track of. So we'll put all those links in the show notes for episode 322 on specialchronicles.com. And you mentioned, I think it was just yesterday, you had a big announcement that you put on your Instagram Live.
Yeah.
About running a half marathon. Can you briefly tell us on how that came about?
So one night I was just walking around and I thought I need to set a crazy goal, and I set a half marathon. I was just thinking.
A couple years ago, the 300 miles.
Oh yeah, a couple years ago I set the goal of to run 300 miles in a year, but I was super duper close, and at the end of the year I ended up getting sick and having a sinus surgery. So I've had 2 sinus surgeries in my life, so I ended up having a sinus surgery, and so that put me off, so I didn't do that. And then this year I set a goal for 200 miles, so I was out of running for a while because
Your knees.
So I was out of running for a while because I had an injury on my knees or my one knee. So I have, it's called like Osgood-Loggers or something. And I've been getting physical therapy and that's been helping. So I thought, you know what, I need to get back in running because that's my strong part. Like that's where I thrive. So I thought I need to set a crazy goal. So I was thinking and a marathon popped in my head. I'm like, I think I got to train a little bit before I run a marathon. So I was like, I'll do a half marathon. So if you know, a half marathon is 13 miles, and I'm running it a few days after I turned 13. So I thought it would be cool because I'm running a mile to celebrate each year for my birthday. So that's how a half marathon came about. And I love making big goals that I can achieve because it makes me feel accomplished.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking at your in preparing for our time together. I looked on your Instagram bio, and you want to comment on a few of the things that you have in your Instagram bio. It says that underneath your name it says beauty, and then Psalm 147:3, and then Cystic Fibrosis Warrior, which that will be the title of the episode of this podcast. But then Justice Ambassador, Able Finder Ambassador, One Go, and then Creative Writer / Artist. So do you want to comment on, I'll show our viewers there if they want to go and follow you. You mentioned that. But
Instagram.
Do you want to comment on all what you have in your Instagram bio?
Yeah, so when it says beauty at the top, I just think that telling yourself confident things always helps. So I like having little like things on the top that's like beauty or achiever or stuff like that. So it's like a title. And then so Psalms 147:3 is, I forget it. It's about the woman in jewels, right? Or I'll look it up. So I forget it. It is. Psalms.
And while you're looking it up, I saw apparently on the YouTube they above the title it says #IAmAble. So I don't know if we put that in or if they somehow YouTube must have automatically known to put this #IAmAble on the live video. So
that's cool.
Maybe when people now do a search on YouTube for #IAmAble, this podcast will come up.
Oh,
and
cool.
You never know who is going to watch this program, because I had a guest a few years ago from the Special Olympics cheerleading program.
Oh,
some random listener watched this program that we did and went out to the World Games in Los Angeles, and they actually were doing some story for some website or something, and they found the Special Olympics cheerleading program in Los Angeles because of the podcast program that we did.
That's really cool.
you never know whether someone's listening to us on radio, on the audio podcast, or watching this video for you right now. You never know who's going to be hearing your story. And so, but you were saying that you were looking up.
Yeah, so I found it. It's he heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. So that's a really great Bible verse because I think God has the strength to heal whatever you're going through, and my strength comes from Him. So that's why that's like my favorite verse. And Cystic Fibrosis Warrior is just because I have cystic fibrosis, and I don't want it to just say cystic fibrosis patient because I'm a warrior. You know what I mean? So like I take my disease and I make it my superpower, and I'm just a warrior with it.
Awesome.
So Justice GWH ambassador. So I'm a Justice Girls with Heart ambassador. So that is a tween. So Justice is a tween clothing brand, and their Instagram stuff, all their ambassadors are empowering girls to act their age, be great people, and just go for any dreams that they have. Able Finder Ambassador, like we've been talking about, encourages people with disabilities to be the best person that they can be and share their story to encourage others. It says runner girl because I'm a runner and creative writer and artist, so I really love writing. Like I love writing. It's my favorite subject in school. I could write all day long.
What types of stories do you like to write?
I don't do a lot of stories. I started writing a book about like a girl with a disability, but I haven't really finished it. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it. I feel like I am, but we'll see. So I love writing. Anything. I love writing.
Yeah.
Like
Speaking.
writing.
Yeah. Oh, I was just gonna say. Speaking on that, when I was your age, I used to like to write a lot of creative writing fiction, but now with having a bachelor's degree in journalism, now I like writing more, I guess you could say, nonfiction, more, stories and newspaper columns and stuff, and opinion pieces. But so I've kind of like switched gears. Instead of writing creative, writing more.
My mom's always telling me I should be a journalist, but I don't know if I want to yet. I think it'd be fun, but like I don't know because I love writing. So
Yeah. Well, if you like writing, yeah, definitely. It's a hard industry to get into. But if you enjoy it, then yeah, definitely something to. And if you and your parents have any other questions on being a journalist, or be happy to off air answer any questions.
Okay. And then with artist, I have artist because I love to draw, and I think writing's a form of art too. So I love to. Yeah, I love being creative. I love drawing and making projects and painting. I love doing anything creative, making like little lunches for my 3-year-old niece, just creativity in general. I just really love being creative. So that is why all those things are on my bio.
Neat. Well, do you have any final thoughts on your overall time here today on Special Chronicles that you want to share with our listeners and viewers?
I am really thankful to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me onto your podcast. I love sharing my story. I'm so thankful that I was able to share my story, and thank you to all the viewers who watched. It's really important or special to me. I'm so thankful for that, and just being able to spend time with you, talking to you, and talking about disability to empower other people, I think is really important. So thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. It's been a joy having you on the program. Sadly, we didn't get anyone to text us in. I was hoping maybe, or maybe within the last couple minutes of the program, maybe somebody, even if it's someone from your own family, who wants to text us in right now to feedback@specialchronicles.com, feedback@specialchronicles.com, or whether you are, in addition, you can also, after the fact, if you're listening to us or watching us on demand later, streaming and on demand later, you can text us as well by entering that address into your texting app, and that little how-to video that you sent. Maybe if you guys want to send that to me, and then I can post that up again to tell people how to text in. because it was a really
Yeah, I can do that.
it was a really informative video on how to text in, and that will get more people to text in. But if anybody within the last 2 minutes of the program wants to text in right now, we can get any final comments in to our live on the air. You can go ahead and do that right now. As I say, you can also join in the conversation on the social media at Special Chronicles, on the Instagram, on the Facebook, on the YouTube, and Twitter. We're at Special C Podcast. You can tweet us there as well. And make sure to please leave us your 5-star ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts, on Stitcher, Google Play, Facebook, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. Once again, this program is sponsored by the Jenny and PJ Fortnell Foundation. It's also sponsored by Goldman Sachs and proud to partner with the ComEd Energy Force Ambassador Program. The Energy Force is the country's first energy efficiency education program designed for and taught by people with disabilities. They're already powering lives and they're already powering us to keep their lights on. You can see that we have lights on, right?
Yeah.
And, I mean, without ComEd, we wouldn't be able to talk, and our mics would be muted like.
I can't hear anything.
See, that's why. Well, I mean, I just muted the mic, but if ComEd and Goldman Sachs and the Jenny and PJ Fortnell Foundation and all of you generous listeners donated at specialchronicles.com/give, specialchronicles.com/give.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you to all of our awesome sponsors. Thank you so very much. Any last minute people to text in? Any families? No.
I just posted on my Instagram for people to text in questions.
Okay. Well, we will. Because we're about out of time. What?
Do you say if any questions get sent in during the audio podcast that you'll be answering? You'll be sending them to me. The answer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's what we'll do. Since nobody texted in live, if people are listening to the audio program in a couple of weeks, once that's up, or they'll watch the video on demand, you can still text into feedback@specialchronicles.com, and then I will send those texts to Ella, probably through a direct message on Instagram, and then Ella can answer those either in the comments on our Instagram, or you can do like a Instagram story, those short little clips, and
we'll answer all the questions.
Yeah, and then we will share those when you answer the questions. We will share that on our page, and awesome. So you can still text in your questions and comments, and we'll be happy to answer them after the fact. So on that note, we've been talking for an hour and 14 minutes here. And it's time for us to get on with the rest of our days, and we will be live again. We'll be live at about 4:00 p.m. Central Time as we tape our Christmas special coming on soon. So stay tuned to the YouTube Live and the Facebook Live on Special Chronicles for that later on this Saturday, December 8th. Once again, our guest has been Ella, just like myself. We are both global IAmAble ambassadors for AbleFinder, a charity in Australia, talking about cystic fibrosis, so Crazy Zestful Life, and the IAmAble campaign, and much more topics. Yeah. So anytime, Ella, that you want to come, you or your family as well wants to come back on the program, we'll be happy to have you all.
Okay. That'll be fun.
And until next time, any closing thoughts before we play that outro?
I just want to thank you again. I'm so thankful that I was able to come on the show. This is such a podcast you have. I love this.
Awesome. Thanks. Well, we've been around for the past decade, the past 10 years, and coming. Yeah.
I want to say to everyone who's watching, thank you so much for watching, for donating to Special Chronicles podcast. You guys are awesome. All your encouragement for the people who are watching, all your encouragement, encouraging me over the past few years and helping him with his podcast. I think you guys are amazing. So thank you so much to everyone, and have an amazing, amazing year, the rest of your year and day.
Well, that's a perfect way to conclude the program. Thank you once again, Ella, for coming on the Special Chronicles program. And until next week, well, actually until later this week, because we've got that Christmas special coming up. So until later this week, remember we're gonna say our call to action thing at the end. Ella, I forgot you probably see that in the script was outro text. We remember choose to include, so we'll say that at the same time. And until next week, remember. Oh, okay. Well, so I'm gonna say until next week, and then we'll say that last part together. So until next week, remember choose to include.
To include. Sorry.
Okay.
Choose to include.
Okay. We'll do some editing / not editing, but let's try that one last time. So until next week. Remember, choose to include.
Special Chronicles, giving respect and a voice to people with special needs.
And that's a wrap. I'm going to go ahead and stop the audio.
Thank you.
Yep. Any last words to our viewers watching on the video?
Nope. Just thank you so much.
Awesome. So I'm gonna just go ahead and. I stopped the Facebook Live, but.
Okay.
You were gonna say.
Oh, just to my viewers, thank you so much. You guys are really supportive and amazing to take your time out of your day to watch this and to support everyone around you. Thank you so much.
Awesome.